In just a few minutes here, we're going to be hearing more from Roanoke leaders about this plan. We'll also be hearing more about the impact that immigrants have on the city. Tonight, we're highlighting one local business owner who was not born in America. He didn't set out to live the American dream, but he's become a great example of it.
All right. Is this one okay for you?
Yeah, excellent.
Miguel Liendo now runs a successful restaurant in downtown Roanoke, Leonor, serving a blend of Venezuelan and Italian food.
You ready?
He says Roanoke is welcoming to immigrants like him.
They like to help, they like to share, they like to support, and that's what I like about this place.
Born in Venezuela, he came to the U.S. at age 30 when his mother, who lived here, got sick. He decided to stay.
It is really good.
He started working at a warehouse on the floor, loading trailers.
I didn't speak any English. I don't speak English yet. I'm still learning.
Later, he worked at his sister's restaurant and developed his cooking skills.
I started working for them, and I find out that I love it. All right, let me see the card.
He opened this restaurant in 2012. It was a small space. Business was slow.
I can't believe it will be 13:30.
Then, with his never-give-up attitude, it picked up, and he expanded.
I don't think anything is difficult. I think if you got the drive to do it, no matter what thing you're gonna find on your road, but you're gonna survive, you're gonna succeed, and you're gonna jump any obstacles and look and find whatever you're looking for. We're gonna get it ready for you in about 10-15 minutes.
He's now going back to his roots,
Pollo guisado and arepa de pabellón.
focusing more on Venezuelan food, the dishes his mom made for him before she passed away. Liendo is just one of the many examples of the impact that immigrants have on Roanoke. We'll have more perspective on that tonight on 10 News at 6, as well as more details on the city's plan. Live in Roanoke, I'm Tommy Lopez, 10 News, working for you.